Welcome back to another Insider. And this week we are going to talk about something that it's important. We started the month talking about the new NATI professional profile and an update. I was checking, there is still some functionalities like the photo that are still not available for you to change on your own, but a lot of things are there, and the new profiles are already appearing online. But that was an update from the other video. This week I'm going to talk about what we should and should not include in our professional profiles, because it is a fine line between our safety online and, of course, advertising for our business, being known, and letting our clients know what we do, how to contact us, etc., etc. So today I'm going to talk about what to include in our professional profiles. So come with me. Let's talk about these professional profiles. So let's talk about our personal information, our professional profiles, and everything that is connected with it. We started this month talking about the new NATI professional profile. A little update, the pages are already on. You can see the pages, but some features are still not fully implemented. For example, the photo, you cannot alter the photo on your profile still on your own. So I think this might come, they might still be in the process of some implementation. I might need to contact NATI. I contacted them before, and they said that it wasn't available yet, but it would be once the profiles were completed. But I have checked, and they are still not available. I have checked this morning, and they were not still available for you to change. So actually in my profile I have a very old photo of myself, and I would like to update it, so I might contact NATI again. But this is just an update on my previous video. And now today we are talking about these professional profiles and what should we include and what we should not. That fine line between advertising, between letting our clients know who we are, and our online safety. That is so important these days. As I said, we must always protect our professional information online, but we also need to have our name and some information in some platforms, such as our association directory, social media, of course, and of course our website. That is the main point of contact. I've already said I'm a very strong advocate for a website, because I think if you are a business, you need a website. You really, if you want to be seen as a business, if you want to be taken seriously, you really need to have that website going. You really need to have that domain with your emails coming from that domain, etc., etc. I've said that many times, and you know my stand on this. So what should we share? Okay, so I would say that we should be very frugal with the information we publish online. For example, if we don't have an office open to the public, and let's face it, most of us don't, we are a one-man show and we work from home, where a client can come in and talk to us, yet we don't have that. Well, for example, maybe if you live in a big house and you have, let's say, a granny flat or something that you can use as an office and have people walking in, or if you work with a team and you have a hired office and you work in an office, then of course, by no means, you have to put that address there, because your clients may want to go and talk to you directly, maybe take the originals for you to translate. Who knows, you know. But we know, let's be realistic, that is not the reality for most of us. Most of us work from home, and therefore our address does not need to be made public. We can only include the suburb and state. That's what I do. I usually include the suburb, Hornsby, and the state of New South Wales, which is where I live. So this is something that the client know or can have a perspective of where you are, so they can locate you. Yeah, okay, let's take me as an example. Hornsby, New South Wales, okay, but they don't know exactly where in Hornsby I live because I chose not to make that public. I don't think it is a good idea to do so. For the same reason, if we work from home, our home phone should not be made public either because it is our personal phone. So if we really want, I apologize, I choked on my own saliva. So if we really want to, work from home, or we do work from home, our own phone should not be made public. It's a personal thing. We should include just our mobile phone because our home phone is not a business phone. Your mobile phone, yes, that I would say it needs to be available because even though most of our business is done via email and it's the preferred contact, because if a client needs to, for example, contact a translation, they will need to send us an email with the documents that then will be, reviewed for quoting, etc. So everything is done via email. I must admit, I don't really like to be contacted by phone because I think it's a little redundant. Since I have to say, I'll have to tell the client you must send me the documents through email. But of course, there are people that would like to talk to you and would like to send you an email or phone call. So if those clients want to contact you via the phone, you should have that mobile phone available. And of course, I share my professional email address. No Gmail accounts, please. I have mentioned this many times. It is very important. You should have your own domain and you should have your email coming from that domain with your website, etc., etc. This is important because it's what it sets you out from everyone else. It's what makes you look professional. It's what that client, mainly that corporate client that will bring more projects to you, will see and say, oh, this is someone that is really professional. They have a very good website. I've got all the information about them here, and everything else. So I think it is important to have this. And then, of course, as I said, my mobile phone. Now, professional information. Also, you need to be very, very careful with the professional information that you share online. We covered the personal information. That is really, really a very, very hot topic, if you like. But your professional information is also a hot topic, and it also needs to be protected. The same goes for the professional information. As I said, you should only publish what is relevant. You should not publish everything. Never publish your resume online or images of your qualifications, such as a university degree or your diploma in translation or your NADI certification certificate. Nothing of that, please. You don't need to put this online. It's very dangerous. This can be easily copied and used to steal your identity. You can and should provide information regarding all of this but not images that can be stolen. You can put them on your LinkedIn page, for example. You can put all your qualifications. You can put on your website, of course. In your profiles, you can tell people what qualifications you have, everything. Just don't put images. I remember when I did my course, it was advised, but I usually have my professional, my professional development information, qualifications, and all relevant information online. Yes. What I do, um, is to restrict that to the minimum required, and I just put what people need to know: what I do, who I am, and how to contact me. I think that's what's most important. However, I do not have my resume online, and I do not publish images of any of my qualifications. I don't. Some colleagues post photos, and it is not a very good idea. Regarding the curriculum, I remember, for example, when I did my course, that was highly encouraged, that we should have our resume available so people could see it, etc., etc. Today, it is a practice that is widely discouraged by associations and practitioners alike, because that resume can be stolen and people can just copy that resume, put their own photo. If you put photos of your diplomas, everything, oh, Bob's your uncle, they've got everything on you. They just can put their own photo and they can pose as yourself. So it is very important. You can put your qualifications. And for example, I have on my website, if people want my resume, it can be provided on request. But of course, I always trace a little bit and track a little bit of that. I know if is a client that is bringing a project and wants my resume, yes, but I don't also provide my resume to everyone, because someone may just be a scammer trying to pose as a legitimate client and asking you for a resume for the exact same purpose. So be very, very aware of that professional information that you put online. Yeah, it is needed. A lot of people will need to see it because they need to know who you are, what you do, etc., how to contact you. However, they don't need images. They don't need to see your diplomas. They don't need to see your qualifications, your resume. They don't need your home address. They don't need your home phone. They don't need all of that, because obviously it's dangerous. It's not safe. Now, invoices are another thing. An invoice is an official document. As a business, even if you are a sole trader, you must have an ABN, a name, an address, etc. So that means all that information must be in your invoice. So if the ATO does an audit on your clients, they know who are they trading with. The same way, if you have an audit yourself, they will know also. They can verify the validity of your invoices and your business. It is by law, you are required to have that. So in that case, you have to include all of this there. And your bank details should also be there for the payments. Otherwise, the client won't know how they can pay you. But again, never put your bank details online. Very, very dangerous. I once saw that online, a colleague that actually put their bank details. I think it was on social media. I think I saw it on Facebook out of any other platform. And I was horrified, because it is very dangerous. You have your bank details, they can do whatever. So please, don't put any of your bank details online. And if you get contacted, etc., etc., just don't give away your bank details right away, because when it's time for the client to pay you, you send them the invoice, and the invoice is the document that should include that information for them to pay you. So they don't need to know it beforehand. So if you take care of these tiny little details, if you provide the information, yes, you need to do it because your clients need to know who you are. However, you should be careful about the way you provide that information, where you provide that information, and of course, how you provide that information. Because that may be the difference between having your identity stolen and keep running a business without any issues. So be careful with this. Pay a little attention to what you share. And we all know we are in an era that everyone tends to overshare everything. But as I said, and I keep on saying, less is best. You provide the information that is required, but you don't overshare. And of course, information or images about qualifications, CVs, and things like that, it's always a no-no, let alone the bank account. So if you take into account these tiny little details, I'm sure you won't be having any issues, and everything will be covered for you. For today, I hope you like this insider. I hope he actually helped a lot of translators starting now, understanding why this is a no-no, and why even if they see a lot of other colleagues doing it, why it's not a good idea. I I see it more and more these days, and especially on LinkedIn, people sharing their NATI certificates, sharing their Institute of Linguists Diploma in Translation certificate, all of this. Of this information being posted online, and it's not a good idea because it has your number, it has your name, has everything in there, and can be easily copied and used. So when we talk about the safety of our digital stamps, or our physical stamps for that matter, and we are concerned about that, which we should be, of course, and then we do something like this, like sharing our credentials online like this, and it's not a good thing. It's definitely not a good thing. So I decided to talk about this today because it is important to actually talk about things that are important for our profession, and of course keeping our business safe and keeping ourselves safe from fraud, from identity theft, and all of these issues that unfortunately are increasing in society. It is very, very important. So I decided to talk about this. I know I have mentioned this before in a previous video. I decided to add a bit more, and I hope you liked it. If you have anything to add to this topic, if unfortunately you have been a victim of something like this, please let us know in the comments below what happened, what documents were stolen, and how did you deal with the situation and how you got out of it. Let us know. It is always important to know all of these things, and knowing and I think that knowing from other people's experience is always important, because we know what they went through, we know how they navigate through the situation, and that's the way we can avoid other people falling for the same trap. That is why I keep on sharing my experiences. I keep on sharing all this information with you, because if I can share something, like some hurdle that we can have in our profession, and avoid you going through the exact same hurdle, I would be happy, because I will help you avoid it, and not go through the same issues that I may have encountered. Not this particular one so far yet. I've been lucky, but of course we are not immune to this type of situation. That's why we should always endeavor to have all our professional and personal details safe, so we do not fall for something like this. But if you also have any other topic that you would like to share, or you would like me to discuss in our insiders, please leave also a comment below, and I will be very, very happy to consider it. And of course, put a like on the video and subscribe the channel with a little click on the bell, so you get a notification of a new insider every week. Before I go, I would like to thank you all for watching. I'll see you next week. Have a good one. Bye.